Hello and welcome, everyone. Just like every day, you are all welcome to the aftermarket analysis session. As usual, today also at 5 p.m. in the evening, we are conducting a live webinar. In the post-market analysis, after the closing of Nifty and Bank Nifty, we look at what happened in the order flow and basically how to read the footprint properly. We try our best. So if you are new and want to learn order flow or want to learn how to use the footprint properly, you can join the daily live webinar at 5 p.m. in the evening. You will get the link to this live webinar on GoCharting's Discord and Telegram community before 5 p.m. in the evening. Also, if you use GoCharting at that particular time, you will find the webinar link by going to the top right corner as well. You can access it from there too. Okay. So, we were just looking at Nifty. Alright, for quite some time Nifty was moving within a range. Let me open Epic Pen. For many days, Nifty was within a range. Today, Nifty broke out of that range. It broke out quite nicely. Okay, and it broke out. But we didn't see any buyers anywhere. Light, see this whole range was formed. Okay, we had marked all the levels within this range. But it gave a gap up opening, and after that gap up opening, it went sideways here. It just didn't give any movement. Nifty didn't show any movement today. Okay, so as per the volume profile levels, there was a gap up opening. If we look at the last few days, there weren't any such levels. So even if we go to the daily time frame, somewhere or the other, it went near its all-time high. Like, see this is the only movement here, right? Just like it went sideways here and formed a range. Similarly, it formed a range here as well. But today, we got a breakout from this range. So, whenever we are unable to see the volume profile of the last few sessions, what do? We go to a higher time frame and take the swing levels from there. Like from here to here, and just now, this was the high, so what will be our next level? Only from these 3 sessions. Okay, so we didn't have any solid volume profile as such. If we take anything, it was just this one. Okay, so in this case, what we can do is, whenever any new buying or selling is initiated on the order flow, like this one, we just marked it. Okay, but this will be a very large range. It will be around 1000 points. So whenever there is a situation where we don't see much of a volume profile from the previous session's swing, what can we do? Simply, we can mark those zones which are initiated on the order flow with fresh buying or fresh selling. Okay, for example, on that day, we can depend completely on the order flow, alright. Like right now, as Nifty opened here, as and when fresh buying and fresh selling get initiated, we will keep marking that fresh buying and fresh selling and try to understand the market scenario. Okay, so now let's look at the footprint and see where the buyers will come in and where the sellers will come in. So, to read the footprint properly, again you should know what delta is. Because with the help of delta, we read this. Footprints, like the first candle for example. In the footprint of the first candle, on the right side of the footprint, we have the buyers. On the left side, we have the sellers. Now, how is delta formed? We have added up all the buyers on the right side. We have added up all the sellers on the left side. Okay, on the right side, let's just assume a number to understand how delta is formed. For example, if there are 1,37,000 buyers, and after adding the sellers, it comes to around 1 lakh. When we subtract these two, what value will we get? 37,000 is on which side? It's on the buyer's side, so there is no negative sign. That's how delta is formed here. Okay, right now buyers are more. In the first candle, the value is inside a green box and there is no negative sign. Now look at this candle in front of the value. Inside this candle, what does the delta in this particular candle indicate? That there are more sellers. How many more are there? So, in front of the value 48,000, we see a negative sign, and 48k means there are that many more sellers. Whenever there are more sellers, we refer to it as delta. Negative delta is higher. Negative delta means there are more sellers, and whenever there are more buyers, we call it positive delta. Positive delta means there are more buyers. Okay, okay. So, this is our positive delta and negative delta. Now, let's see how we will read the footprint. For example, there are some candles whose delta is 30,000, 37,000, again 24,000, 48,000. And there are some candles whose delta is very low, just 600, just 2,000, just 1,000, just 12,000. So what we will do is, we will pick those candles which have a heavy delta, like this candle, this candle, this candle, and the candles whose delta is low. There hasn't been much buying or selling in them. Okay, so instead of giving importance to those candles in which buying and selling is already less, if we give more importance to those candles which have heavy delta, where heavy buyer and seller are available, then it will be very good for us because big buying and selling also initiates there. So what we will do is, we will pick those candles which have a heavy delta. And then, we will mark the buying and selling zones of only those candles. For example, the first candle. Usually we see significant buying or selling in the first candle every day, so you should trade the first candle carefully. Now, what is the delta indicating in the first candle? That there are more buyers. Inside this candle, the delta showed that there are quite a lot of buyers. Which side is the buyer's side? Right side, it jumped on the right side. Look at the place where there are the most buyers. Where are they? 53, 24, 70, and 42. We will mark this very zone. Okay, but what happened in the next candle? When it came down from that buying zone, it means that the buying which happened inside the first candle was absorbed somewhere here. But in the second candle, we didn't see any sellers. Here also, there was some light buying. The maximum buying also happened right here at 27. There was buying in the next candle as well. Where did the maximum buying happen? At 32, right at the top. The maximum buying happened at 32, meaning this is the zone where there was continuous buying in the first 3 candles and the buying in all 3 candles was absorbed. See how every candle is red and the closing is also lower. Okay, this candle also gave confirmation that yes, the buying in those 3 candles was absorbed here. Now look, till now the biggest volume is a delta of 48. On which side? On the negative side. It jumped. What did the delta indicate? That in this particular candle, there are more sellers. How many more? 48,000 sellers. On which side? The left side. Went to the seller's side, marked the spot where the most selling happened. Look at this. Selling around 600, 10,000, 7,000, 8,000, and see this 27,000, 24,000, 28,000. This means this is the zone where the most selling has happened. But just after this selling, the market reversed from here as well. So what did we observe here? Buying absorption. Selling absorption. Has the market broken anywhere? This has become a resistance zone. This has become a support zone. All right. Now, this is the scenario where, when there is buying absorption on both sides, once you see buying absorption, and then on the downside, you also see selling absorption. The market forms a pretty decent range. And you will see this quite often in Nifty, where the market gets stuck within these very ranges. Like, even today, the same thing happened. There was buying seen above the resistance as well. On the 1025 candle, there was buying at 48, but the very third candle broke it. Like, there was buying in the 1025 candle, the 1030 and 1035 candles held it, but the resistance still wasn't broken, and then the 1035 candle broke it as well. On the downside, see here, there was buying at 48. See here, in the next two candles, the market was below this buying zone, and after that, the buyers left again. Nowhere was the resistance properly broken. Again, it moved forward within the same range. After that, we didn't see any heavy volume that solid. One thing that was definitely noticeable is, look here. There was buying of around 27,000, close to 30,000. This was that buying. But just after this buying, the market reversed. The very next candle broke the buying zones of this candle. Let's move ahead and see in which candle the selling happened. Look at this one. There was quite a bit of selling. There was selling of 1,70,000 in this candle. But boss, again, that's not the playing range anywhere. When did the market turn bearish from here? The stop loss was becoming quite big. Again, until the range is broken out, whatever happens in between doesn't matter. The best scenario here would be if this selling comes while breaking this support zone, right? It would have been created in support and resistance. It would have broken with strong selling. Then we could have seen a downside move. Good, very solid selling was initiated but again got stuck right there. There was just this one round of selling and after that, there was no volume on either side and for the whole day, Nifty remained stuck within this range. If we look at today's scenario, what was it? In the first three candles, buying absorption was seen. In the fourth candle, selling came in but even that selling by the sellers got absorbed. It worked pin to pin. Absolutely pin to pin buying zones were formed. King to pin selling zones were formed. If it had happened here that selling took place and the market stayed below this selling zone for some more time, then we could have expected that yes, the buying was absorbed. Then sellers entered. But here even the sellers who entered got absorbed. It worked pin to pin. See, it held pin to pin. Look at the next candles. Again the same pin to pin here as well. And the whole day Nifty kept moving within this range. The whole day Nifty. Which candles were there today? The candles in which we saw heavy volume. In the first four candles, in three candles, I explained buying absorption. The fourth candle showed selling absorption. After that, in the 1025 candle, there was a buying attempt, but the 1035 candle broke the buying zones of that candle itself. And if there was a buying attempt on the 1025 candle, then we should have at least waited for the resistance to break, but neither did the resistance break, nor did the 1035 candle left any buying zones intact. After that, there was no solid volume seen anywhere. There was a slight buying absorption seen in the 10 o'clock and 12:30 candles. A selling was observed in the 2 p.m. candle. Alright, but even that selling did not lead to a downtrend. The market remained within the same range throughout, and after that, Nifty closed. So, in all the candles today that had significant volume, whenever this recording is uploaded on YouTube, I have mentioned them specifically. You should especially read those candles once, you will definitely get some idea. This was today's quick analysis of Nifty. Now, whatever doubts you all have, please unmute yourself and ask.